Hi friends, how's it going? So I am starting a new series called Spillin' Tea with Nataly. By the way, how cute is this mug? I'm obsessed with it. I found it at Primark. But anyways, I wanted to start off this series because basically I started off my whole social media journey with YouTube and I've really missed like doing videos on there because I feel like on Instagram you guys can't really get to know me that well. And so I've been like, you know what, I really want you guys to get to know me. I want to get to know you. I want to yeah, I just want you guys to kind of come along the journey with me in my life. So I thought I'd start this series, and I am getting back on YouTube. I always say this, but like I am committed now. I really want to get back to doing more YouTube. So that being said, wait, I need to take a sip. By the way, I am drinking Turkish apple tea by Gilded Teapots, I believe. It is amazing. I loved Turkish apple tea. We were in Turkey last year. It was incredible. I literally can't wait to go again. I thought I'd start this series off with what I have learned during lockdown. Isn't it just absolutely crazy? I honestly thought that lockdown was gonna take 3 weeks, max 6 weeks. And no joke, I was kind of hoping for it too, because I was like, when am I ever gonna get 6 weeks off of work? This is gonna be amazing. And I mean, we're nearly 6 months down the line. We're kind of 5 months down the line of lockdown. And I honestly didn't expect it to be this long. And I think over the past 2 months, I've been going a little bit stir crazy. And not just that, I feel like there's been so many things in my heart that have been like seriously challenged. And I just feel like I was really due a growth season. And here we are, you know. I didn't expect it to be this painful. I didn't expect to be in a funk for so long, but I'm actually so grateful. You know, I'm always like, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna become better, I'm gonna become stronger out of these hardships. So here we are. And so I thought I'd chat to you guys about what I've learned during lockdown. So I've actually written some notes down on my phone. So let's go for number one is taking it one day at a time. So one of the things that I actually before would seriously do a lot of is just look at my entire week or my entire month and just feel exhausted just looking at it. And I would get stressed and I would get worried and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have enough time to edit everything and to do everything that's on my to-do list. And like, honestly, I would just psych myself up so much. So I was listening to Ben Blumel at our church, Hillsong London. You guys can find it on YouTube. And his message was taking it one day at a time. And honestly, it was like a breath of fresh air. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. Let's see if it works. And it does. It honestly so does. I feel like I'm not stressing out as much because also with my job, because I do wedding photography as like my full-time job. And I think that's really been hard for me during lockdown because like my entire wedding season has just been postponed to next year, you know, and kind of just learning to trust God throughout this season. I think I always used to have this like thing with January, February, and March, which are like the off-peak season, and I'd always be like, oh my gosh, Lord, I'd have to like consistently like focus and remind myself to have faith in God and be like, no, I'm not gonna worry, I'm gonna have faith. And I just feel like now taking it one day at a time, I'm not going to worry about next month. I'm not going to worry about next year. I'm going to think about today, just like the Bible says, today has enough trouble of its own. So I'm not going to worry about it, you know? So so that has been revolutionary, trying to take it one day at a time, because then I just think of the day and then it doesn't all feel so overwhelming. So that has been really good. Let's go for number two while I sip my Turkish apple tea. Number two is forgiveness. Oh my word, you guys. I mean, obviously Jesus teaches us to forgive people, but I think it's so hard. For me, I have this like high standard set for myself. And then apparently what I've realized is actually I have a high standard set for everybody else around me too, because I hold myself to such a high standard. So when they fall short and they don't say sorry, I find it hard to forgive. And I've been challenged by this for a long time, and I definitely feel like I've gotten a lot better at it. I'm trying to learn to let go of things. And honestly, when you forgive people, you just get things, it's just like off your chest. It's like a weight off your chest, you know? Number 3 is trust. I think during lockdown, we've all been kind of like, where are we putting our trust? That everything is actually out of our control. And I already knew that, especially with my job. I've been privileged to be able to learn to trust in God daily. Am I fully putting my trust in God and not my circumstances? I think that's the real question that I've really been asking myself. Have I been putting my hope and my trust in my circumstances rather than God? Because my circumstances can be shaken, but my God can't. So that's another thing that I've definitely been learning. And honestly, whenever I do kind of let it go and do give it back to God, it feels like a weight off my chest, you know, and to be able to trust him, to be able to trust that actually he's got the best interest and heart for me and those around me. So yeah. The other thing is hope. Do I get my hope from my circumstances? Do I get my hope from God? I really loved what Evie said. I posted it the other day, and it was basically like hope and hopelessness are contagious, so which one are you going to spread? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that is so powerful. And it's like, where are you grounding your hope? Where are you putting your foundation for hope? And I think for me, I'm just like, I'm just going to put it on God because he is unshakable. There's always hope. He says he's got a plan and a future for me and a hope for me. So I'm going to stake my ground in that. Okay. The next one is comparison. I'm actually going to just do a full-on video about comparison soon. I'm going to do another spill in the tea with Natalie about comparison, because comparison is honestly one of my biggest struggles in life. Like I said, I have a high standard for myself. So I generally tend to end up comparing myself to other people, and I just don't think it's healthy. I honestly think it's so unhealthy. It has stopped me from doing things. I would live my life so differently. And I have started to recently, actually. And I would live my life so differently if I didn't compare myself to other people. So now I'm like, you know what? Oh man, like really recognizing that I am running my own race, that I can't compare to myself to anybody else, even if their life, their journey, whatever looks very similar to mine, you know, like either a wedding photographer or a blogger or anybody else, even though their journey looks so similar to mine, it's not the same, and I can't compare myself. My favorite analogy was, you know, body parts. You've got a left hand and a right hand. They're very similar to each other. They have very similar functions to each other, but you can't compare the left hand to your right hand. Your left hand, imagine your left hand going, oh my gosh, right hand is the one that writes, the one that throws, the one that does things. I don't do that much. I'm not that great, but honestly, without my left hand, oh my gosh, I would not do very well without my left hand. So that's a good analogy, I thought. But yeah, so learning to not compare myself has actually just been so good. I honestly have really felt a lot more free of the weight that I've been carrying. So I'm going to give you guys some tips in my next spill in the tea about how to stop comparing yourself and how to overcome this burden and this weight that is on your shoulders from comparison. And then I just have 2 more. The next one has been dreams. Like, I've been really challenged in dreaming while the circumstances aren't that great. I honestly found lockdown so hard. I still am sometimes, feeling like it's really hard to not be back to normal because I'm craving normality, you know? I just felt I didn't really want to post anything on Instagram or social media or anything. I just felt like I was in fight or flight mode the entire time, just like, and anything on top would just be like, oh, it's just too much, I can't deal with it, you know? And I, again, loved what Evie said. This preacher said, now is the time for believers to stand up, to bring joy in the middle of chaos, to bring God's peace, joy, and truth and love in the middle of all this. And I was like, that is when I was just like, ka-ching, light bulb. I mean, ka-ching, that's really not the right sound effect, but whatever. The light bulb went off and I was like, wow, I get to do this, you know. I know that it's been a hard time. It's been a hard time for everybody, but I would love to inspire and bring hope and bring joy to people whenever they look at my photos or my Instagram or my captions or my videos and anything like that. So, but it's been really challenging, like dreaming still while the circumstances aren't where I want them to be. So that has been challenging, but I have been learning a lot, which has been really good, and I definitely feel like I'm getting back on track, and yeah, so that's been really good. And then the final thing, oh bell. So the final thing that I would say is patience. I am kind of impatient. I have not been very patient with a lot of things, with dreams, with myself, with people around me, with things that happen, you know. I just feel like, aren't we all in this millennial generation? We're all very impatient. We like things just like that. Like, you know, when you get that the color spinning wheel of death on a Mac and you're like, why are you taking more than 2 seconds to load? So I've definitely been challenged in my patience. I think it's been so good to have more patience for people, for myself, for things. I just feel, again, like a burden has come off of me. And I've learned to trust that God's timing is perfect. As much as I would love to get out of lockdown right now, I would love to go back to normal, God still has a purpose. And I am just trusting that even though I can't see the bigger picture right now, that actually He does. And I don't need to worry about it. And to have that patience, you know, with my growth, with everything in life, to just have patience is just such a great quality to have. And so yeah, oh, I mean, I'm just gonna add this one at the very end, but I think that taking things at a slower pace has also been amazing. That is something I've learned, that actually it's good to have a balance and to not just be go, 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 go. I always knew that having 1 day a week off where I would just do things that I love doing is super important, but sometimes I don't take that every week. I always feel like if I'm not overloading my calendar with things, I'm not being productive enough, and productive does not equal busy. And I think that it's just been so good. It's been so good to have a good balance. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have enjoyed Spilling the Tea with Nataly. I'm going to be hopefully doing these on kind of like a weekly basis. I'll do like makeup tutorials and outfits and different things like that as well, but kind of whatever's on my heart at that moment in time. And let me know if there's anything that you want to hear as well. But I'm just so happy to be back. I hope you guys have an awesome day ahead. Bye!